Deep in the hollows of West Virginia, where mist clings to the hills like a shroud, stands the skeletal remains of the St. Icarus Church. Its windows are boarded up, its pews have rotted away to nothing, and its steeple leans precariously, as if whispering dark secrets to the sky. The locals will tell you it was sealed shut back in the late 1970s. Why? A series of unexplained disappearances, followed by a rash of strange sudden fires that seemed to start from nowhere and vanish just as quickly. The townspeople, their nerves frayed and their faith shaken, decided it was best to let the church rot, to let its memories fade into the encroaching woods. But some stories refused to die. In 1982, a young, ambitious freelance photographer named Daniel Mercer heard the whispers of St. Icarus. He was working on a photo series he called Faith in Decay, a project dedicated to capturing the haunting beauty of abandoned holy places. For Daniel, St. Icarus wasn't a place of fear. It was the ultimate subject, the crown jewel of his collection. Ignoring the warnings of the few locals he encountered, he packed his gear, pried open a boarded-up side door under the cover of a moonless night, and slipped inside. He never came out. Weeks turned into a month. Daniel's family filed a missing person report, and the police, with heavy hearts and a sense of dread, were forced to break the seal on the old church. The air inside was thick and heavy, smelling of damp earth, rot, and something else, something acrid, like burnt ozone. The sanctuary was a wreck, just as they expected. But on the dusty, crumbling altar, they found it. Daniel Mercer's camera. The leather strap was cold to the touch, and the film counter showed there was still one shot left on the roll. The detectives took the camera back to the station, their hands trembling slightly as they developed the film in the darkroom. The first few photos were exactly what they expected, hauntingly beautiful shots of the decaying interior. Sunlight streamed through holes in the roof, illuminating dust motes dancing over broken pews. A close-up of a tattered hymnal, its pages warped by rain. But then, the images began to change. The next photo showed the altar, but now, shadowy, hooded figures stood in a perfect circle around it. Their faces were obscured by darkness, their forms indistinct. The photo after that showed the floor, where a massive black symbol, a twisted, arcane sigil none of them recognized, was painted across the worn floorboards. The lead investigator, a seasoned skeptic, dismissed it immediately. "Double exposure," he grumbled. "The kid probably messed up the film, got spooked and ran off." It was the only logical explanation. But one younger detective wasn't so sure. He decided to examine the original negatives himself, hoping to find a clue the initial development might have missed. He carefully picked up the strip of celluloid. The moment his fingertips touched the negative showing the hooded figures, a searing pain shot up his arm. He cried out, dropping the film as if it were red-hot coal. His colleagues rushed in to find him staring at his hands in horror. Angry red blisters were already forming on his fingertips, raw and weeping, as if he'd pressed them against a scorching iron. The official report was inconclusive. Daniel Mercer was declared a missing person, presumed to have met with an unfortunate accident. The strange photos were filed away, and the case went cold. But the people of Black Hollow knew the truth. They returned to St. Icarus, not with prayers, but with iron chains and heavy padlocks. They dragged 100-pound sacks of rock salt inside, covering the floor from wall to wall, hoping to contain whatever evil resided there. To this day, the church remains sealed, a dark monument to a story the town wants to forget. But they can't, because on stormy nights, when the wind howls through the hollow and rain lashes against the boarded-up windows, some locals claim they can still hear it. A faint metallic click echoing from within the decaying walls, the unmistakable sound of a camera shutter. And if you listen very, very closely, you might hear a faint, desperate voice whispering through the broken glass. Carried on the wind, he took the last picture of himself. Thank you for joining me for this chilling tale. If you enjoy stories that explore the darkness at the edge of our world, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Stay safe out there, and remember, some doors are best left unopened.